You don't have deficiencies, you have opportunities. See what I did there? This is motivational. One of the biggest things as far as actually feeling like you're getting leg drive starts with your setup, from your neck down. Whether you see guys that they put their heels on the pad and they get all set up, that's fine. That's one way to do it. You don't necessarily need to, but understand the point of that is to make sure that you feel that pad on the back of your neck, from your head down to the beginning of your traps. What we want to do is once we have that set up, I want to take my legs and all my leg drive and force it back into that. That's how we get that leg drive to go back into the bar. What we need is, I'll explain how to get there, but what we need is, instead of that leg drive going up, we need it going back. So some guys like to bench with a bar path that goes over their face, which is fine. That's kind of the way that I'll bench. Some guys like to keep it in a straight line. Either is fine, but the point of it is everything has to be going back this way and not up. You want to push yourself away from that bar, but also back. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. It's one of those things that, have you heard in the deadlift before, push your heels to the floor? Almost like the bar's not moving and you're driving. It's kind of the same thing. Imagine that bar staying in the same place and you're trying to push yourself away from it.
I want you to act like you're chesting up. Don't pull the bar out of the rack, okay? Kind of resist, push against my hands. This way. Her lats are nice and tight, okay? You guys see that? She's got huge lats, so it's pretty obvious to see that that's nice and tight there, okay? Now drive your heels. So she's driving her heels, so she's pushing pressure up onto her traps before she comes out of the rack. Go ahead and unrack, keep driving. Good, you see how tight she is? Now chest up on the way down. So when I give that cue for her to chest up, what I want her to do is act like she's pulling herself up to the bar, okay? So she's trying to bring her chest closer to the bar as the bar descends. What that's gonna do is keep those lats nice and tight and track the elbows. Go ahead. See that? She's driving her heels the whole time. Press. Again, stay tight. Down. Press. Rack it. Okay. First of all, I love that shirt. Let's say hog weights.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. Okay. So you're gonna plant your feet. A little, right there is good. Okay. Keep them right here. You're gonna keep the pressure on the ball of your foot. Okay. Now I want you to crank down, and as you crank down, I'm gonna help you here. Pinch your shoulder blades towards my fingers. Good. That's good. That's good. Grab that bar. Now we're gonna drag. You're not gonna lift these up, right? So you're gonna wiggle and drag so you can get your feet far enough forward. There you go. Can you get the ball down? Yeah, good. That means you're doing it right. Good. Let's try a little more. There you go. Good. Now, the ball of your foot's there. Good. Ball of your foot's in contact. Good over here. Is it? Can you feel the ball of your foot? Okay, let's get it there we go. How's this one? Good? There you go. Good. Now, next step. Pinch those shoulder blades this direction. So you don't even really need to pull them back. You want to pull them down. Okay? So this way. Yep. Good. Perfect. Grab that bar. Drive your heels. So when you drive your heels, you feel the pressure like it's pushing you up onto your traps? You want to use your legs, drive your heels, to push you this direction.
I feel like a burn in my legs right now.
In your what?
My quads, like they burn.
Right, well that's good. I mean, that means you're using them. That's what we want. Your legs are going to be sore from doing this, believe it or not. Seriously.
Like, thanks.
People get up and they're like, oh, my legs hurt more than my pecs. Yeah, that's good. Let's try and get a little more extension there. Good. Drive. Now, as you drive those legs, I want you to push this direction. Good. Okay, that's good. Right now, I'm going to come lift you out. Excuse me. Keep those hands closed, please. Now, as you drive your feet, drive the heels, I want you to chest up to the bar. There it is. Drive. Good. Again, chest up. Good. Heels down, chest up. There you go. That's working very naturally. One more. Heels down, chest up. Press. Rack it. Good. How'd that feel? Horrible?
Yeah.
Good. You're doing it right. Get up.
First thing when we talk about setting up, okay? So there's kind of two feet positions that you can use. You can use a tucked under position or more of a wider position. That's going to be based on your lever lengths, what your mobility is. So, you need a little cramp. Played some serious sand volleyball last night. So basically, that's going to be definitely. So if someone says to you, you have to be feet tucked or you have to be, no, you have to be what's best for you. And so none of the stuff's right or wrong. It's what's best for Now there's shit that's wrong, right? Like don't bench with your elbows straight out to the side, okay? That's just wrong, okay? But when it comes to foot position, that's individual. When it comes to hand placement on the bar, that's also individual based on how tall you are. So a great thing is I had a guy who was almost, he was a world-class powerlifter, but he struggled in his bench, and where he was training, everyone had him way out, and he was like, but I feel stronger in. I was like, well, fucking move your hands in. So we moved his hands in, his bench went up by 30 pounds, and he was like, oh my God, it's amazing. But so make sure, guys, use what works for you. There's general principles we cannot violate, but tucking your feet, having your feet out wide, how wide your hands are. You gotta go. Some people are stronger tricep people, they're gonna be in a little closer. Some people, their packs are a little stronger, they're gonna be out a little wider. So you gotta go with what works for you. Don't get locked into like, it's this way. And let me tell you, anybody who says you have to do it 100% this way is trying to sell you something every time. Because there's no real right way in this. Because my example I always use, Steve Goggins, the way he squats is not fucking right. It's great for him, he sets a world record, so tell him that he's not fucking right. You know what I mean? He's right. But make sure, guys, so you gotta find what works for you, but some general principles you don't wanna violate. So, general principle number 1, you gotta be tight, okay? So whether you're tucked or under, you gotta be tight. So when I look at this, I look at this part of her. So she's gonna drive with her legs. You gotta have leg drive in your bench press, guys. She's gonna drive with her legs. That force is gonna come up there. Her trunk is gonna be stable. Her back's gonna be stable on the bench. Her lats are gonna be locked in. This is gonna be one solid piece that she pushes off of. So this is solid. She's got her legs engaged, everything's there. Now, when she goes to engage and press, it's one system. It's like jumping off concrete versus jumping off Jello, okay? If you don't have your legs engaged, this is all loose, your lats are loose, then it's like trying to jump off Jello. You ain't gonna get very far, very high, okay? So we want this to be like concrete, so every ounce of energy she has is directed in pushing that bar vertically, not being dissipated in.
You have a hard time holding
Yeah. All right, so first thing, when we talk about unracking bar, these are little tiny things. See how Kurt has bar all the way up to here? That's because then it's gonna be an easier unrack. So the person can get in a better position, unrack it easier, okay? So we grip the bar. Kayla knows what her bar length is. I like to go a little wider. I'm a little taller, a little wider, so I go a little wider. So we look at this when she takes it out. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna take it. One of the things I'm gonna do with a lot of you guys, I'm gonna touch right here, okay? It's not because I like to touch you there, it's because I need to see if your lats are tight, okay? If you can lock this in and keep this tight, this creates one stable base to press off of. If this is loose, your shoulders are on the island, that gets really tough. Your body can't stabilize, you start getting heavier weights. You basically get leakage in the system. Again, it's like jumping off Jello, right? So a lot of the energy gets paid into Jello. Thank you. That's good. So also, lay down. Simple stuff, guys. I should be able to slide my hand underneath your back, but your butt should be touching the bench, okay? That's like real simple stuff. Your butt's not on the bench, doesn't really count. Plus, if you're lifting it off, then you're doing something wrong. We're gonna have to move your position a little bit. With that leg drive, you wanna be pushing yourself kind of off the bench. The way I teach it is like all your pressure, you should feel on your upper back when you're pushing with your leg drive. I almost think of it like I'm trying to push myself off the bench. Obviously, you got weight in your hands, you're not going anywhere, but that's kind of what helps me think about it.